Hi Ram to all. This one is the second presentation on the basis of the chapter complex number. In the previous presentation, we have gone through the concept of complex number, which number we are calling as complex. Then up to class 10th, we are reading about the real number, and in class 11th, we are familiar about this word, the complex number. This we have discussed in the previous presentation. The negative square root of any real number, we are calling that as a complex number. Then in this presentation we are going to learn how to represent the complex number on the plane. When we are representing the real number on the plane, then we are calling that plane as xy plane, the coordinate plane, Cartesian plane. And when we are representing the complex number on the plane, then we are calling that as the Argand plane. Then here we are going to do the representation, and also we are writing the polar form of a complex number. Then first of all we are going to discuss here what do you mean by the argand plane. An argand diagram has a horizontal axis referred as the real axis. What we know, if we have a complex number, then we are getting the real part and the imaginary part. Similarly, we are calling the real part as the horizontal axis, and the vertical axis we are calling as imaginary part. Imaginary axis is vertical axis, means the y axis, and the horizontal axis is the real axis, means the x axis. Here if you are observing the picture, then what we are getting here, if I am taking a complex number z is equal to a plus bi, then it is plotted as the coordinate a b, as a is the real part and b is the imaginary part. Then we are able to represent that value a b, the coordinate, and if you are representing here, then AB is the coordinate which we are representing, and this is the representation for the complex number z is equal to a plus bi. Then now let us represent these complex number, in which quadrant we are getting these numbers. Z1 I am taking as 3 plus I, Z2 I am taking minus 2 minus 4I, Z3 minus 1 plus 3I, Z4 minus 2I. Then now we have to represent these complex number on the argand plane. Then what we are observing, the real part, for the first one the real part is positive, imaginary part is positive, and what we know about the quadrant, in the first quadrant we are getting the values of x and y positive. The same concept we have to use. Z2 if you are observing, then both the real and imaginary part are negative. It means that we are getting this value in the third quadrant, where x and y both are negative. Similarly, if we are doing for these, then let us represent these complex number, and if you are representing these complex number, then we are getting these as z1 we are getting in the first quadrant, z2 we are getting in third quadrant, z3 x is negative, y is positive, we are getting in second, and z4 if you are observing, then that value we are getting as the real part is 0 here, then only the imaginary axis, that point lie on imaginary axis. Hope all of you are able to understand these. Then let us discuss, if any complex number z we have and we are able to represent z on the argand plane, then if we can join this point to the origin with a line segment. If you have a point on the argand plane, then if you are joining that point to the origin, then the length you are getting, then that length we are calling as the modulus of the complex number, the distance of the given point from the origin. And modulus of z is represented by mod z, and the angle if you are considering, then the angle measured from the positive real axis to the line segment is called the argument of the complex number. For learning something about the polar form, we have to go through the concept of the modulus and the argument. Modulus we are getting the mod z, and that we are finding in this presentation. And argument if you are considering, then argument we are calling the angle which is made with the positive direction of x-axis. Then we are representing the argument as a, r, g, z, and we are representing this by theta. And the modulus and argument can be calculated by using trigonometric ratios that we are going to find in this presentation. Now let us observe here. If you are taking any point, any complex number, then if you are joining that complex number with the origin, then we are getting a length OP, and this length OP is the modulus. And if you are considering the angle, then this angle we are getting, and this angle we are calling as theta with the positive direction of x-axis. Then if a complex number is given to you, z is equal to a plus bi, then how will you find the modulus? Then mod z is equal to square root a square plus b square by using Pythagoras theorem. If you are representing on the argand plane, and then if you are drawing the perpendicular from the given point, then we are getting this value by using the Pythagoras theorem, under root a square plus b square. And what about the argument? The argument, if you are calculating, then argument may lies in between minus pi to pi, and the range of argument we are getting as 0 to pi. Both are equivalent, but what we know about this argument we are calling simply as the tan theta. And if we are going through the concept of tan theta, the domain and range, then this is, if you are observing here, then I am writing here arc tan, the positive direction. The argument we are taking as the angle with the positive direction of x-axis, and we are using a trigonometric ratio tan theta we know perpendicular upon base, and if you are drawing the perpendicular distance from the given point, then you are getting a perpendicular, we are getting a base. For this reason we are getting the trigonometric ratio as tan theta, and the range we are getting as minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Sometimes we are getting the wrong answer of these kinds of question because we are getting the negative x component, and if you are adding pi, if you are getting the x coordinate negative, then you may add pi to the given angle, then easily you are getting the correct argument for the given question. And if you are observing the quadrant as first, second, third, fourth, and the values we are taking as 0 to pi, in the second quadrant we are adding pi, in the third quadrant we are subtracting pi to the given angle, that we are getting by using the concept of tan theta. Tan theta is equal to perpendicular upon base. And in the first quadrant, if you are observing, then theta we are getting as arc tan b upon a. In the second quadrant we are getting the argument when you are adding pi to the value of 10. Then in the third quadrant we are getting the argument if you are subtracting pi, and in the fourth quadrant the negative of the first one. These you have to remember when you are finding the argument for the given question. Now let us observe the diagram here. If you are considering a complex number which is lie in the first quadrant, then we are getting the argument as positive alpha. We are calling this as alpha. Theta is equal to alpha, means tan alpha you are finding. Tan alpha is b upon a, and that we are considering as the argument for the first quadrant. But if you are observing in the second one, then here in the fourth quadrant we are getting the point, and in the fourth quadrant you have to write theta is equal to minus alpha. Tan alpha you are finding, then suppose alpha you are getting pi by 3, then we have to consider the argument as minus pi by 3 because that point lies in the fourth quadrant. In the third one, if you are observing here, the complex number you are getting in the second quadrant, and here you are getting theta is equal to pi minus alpha. Tan alpha you have to find similarly. Suppose you are getting the alpha as pi by 3, then you have to subtract that value pi by 3 from pi, then pi minus pi by 3 is the argument for the given complex number. And here if you are observing in the last one, the fourth diagram, the complex number lies in the third quadrant. Then here you have to take the argument as theta is equal to minus pi minus alpha, means alpha minus pi if you are getting, if you are solving this. Let us solve some question. After learning the concept of modulus and argument, we are able to solve these questions. And the question is, find the modulus and argument of minus 2 plus 2i root 3. A complex number is given to you, and if you are observing the real part, we are getting minus 2, and the imaginary part we are getting as 2 root 3. And we have to find the modulus of the given argument, given question. Then let us z is equal to minus 2 plus 2 root 3i. Then what we know about modulus, we are taking the sum of the squares of the real and the imaginary part, and then we are finding the root of that value. Then easily we are getting the modulus. Then mod z we are getting as in the square root minus 2 whole square plus 2 root 3 whole square. And if you are solving this, then minus 2 square we know it is root 4 plus 2 root 3 square if you have to make, then 2 square is 4 and root 3 square is 3, then 4 into 3 we are getting 12. 12 plus 4 we are getting 16, and under root 16 we know it is plus 4. Now let us find the argument for the question. Then I am taking the angle as alpha, then tan alpha is equal to b upon a we are calling earlier. Then b is the imaginary part and the a is the real part. Then if you are putting the value, then tan alpha we are getting as 10 root 3 upon minus 2. Then on solving, 2 get cancel out, and we are getting the value of tan alpha is root 3, and this we know alpha is equal to pi by 3 we are getting, because this value is for 1060. 1060 is equal to root 3. Now the alpha we have, and what we are observing here, the x and y is, if the real and imaginary part, then the real part is negative here and the imaginary part is positive. It means that this value lies in the second quadrant, and if the values lies in second quadrant, then argument we are getting as pi minus alpha. And if we are doing so, pi minus alpha, then pi minus pi by 3 we are getting 2 pi upon 3. Then here we are taking a rectangular form of the representation. If you are taking a complex number z as x plus iy, then we are getting the rectangular representation like this. If you are drawing the perpendicular from the given point, and the modulus we know r is equal to, we are getting for this complex number z is equal to x plus iy, we are getting the modulus as under root x square plus y square. And if the theta is given, then if you are finding the horizontal component, then x equal to, we are getting r cos theta, and the vertical component we are getting y equal to r sin theta. Then if the values of x and y we have, and if you are putting the values of x and y in the given complex number, then we are getting the required polar form z is equal to r cos theta plus r I sin theta. And after taking common, if you are taking r common, then we are getting r into cos theta plus I sin theta. Then this is the polar form. Means for writing a complex number in polar form, what we needed the modulus, the value of r, and the argument we needed the value of theta. And if we have these two values, then easily we are able to put the values in this representation, and we are getting the polar form of the given question. Then let us solve. Here we have a question, write 1 plus I in polar form. What we are observing, the real part is 1, the imaginary part is 1, both the values are positive. It means that this complex number must lie in first quadrant, and if it lies in first quadrant, then the value of argument we know theta becomes the value as same as the alpha, and modulus easily we are able to find. Then let us solve this question. Z we are getting as 1 plus I, and modulus r we are getting as mod z is equal to under root 1 square plus 1 square, and if we are solving we are getting root 2, means modulus we are getting as root 2 for the given question. Let us find the argument. Then tan alpha we are getting as imaginary part upon real part, and 1 upon 1 we are getting 1, and if tan alpha is equal to 1, then alpha we are getting pi by 4. Now the value of alpha we have, and both the values are positive. It means that the theta must lie in the first quadrant, and if it lies in the first quadrant, then the argument is same as the alpha. Then theta is equal to, we are getting pi by 4. Now the modulus we have, argument we have, and if you are writing in the polar form, z is equal to 1 plus I, then it is written as z is equal to r cos theta plus I sin theta. Then value of r we are getting root 2, and the theta we are getting pi by 4, then cos pi by 4 plus I sin pi by 4. And this is the required representation of a complex number 1 plus I in polar form. Then on the basis of these you are able to solve some questions from the exercise 5.2. Then in the first question you have to find the modulus and argument, and in the second question you have to represent these in polar form. Sai Ram to all.